91X.
Christy Taylor here live with Metric, Emily and Jimmy. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic. Great start to the day. Yeah, feeling good.
Yeah, and you guys look nice and tan, too. You must have been getting ready for the desert, prepping.
Jesus, do I look tan? I've been up in Canada for 4 months.
I've actually just been out in the world. I've been in Nicaragua and Buenos Aires and Uruguay, and then I came straight here. So I got my vibe on before I got here.
What were you doing? Just traveling on your personal
just
time?
Writing and, being a human. Last year was a lot of work, so you got to give yourself a chance to just, live.
Do you like writing while you're out in other countries and traveling the world? Is that your preference?
I do, actually. Yeah, I like to sort of see what hits me when I'm, not thinking about it too much.
You're one of the few bands playing the festival that actually has dual citizenship, so yay you. Was it hard to go through that process of becoming citizens of Canada and America?
Well, my parents are American, so
well, that's easy for you.
Yeah.
We're actually kind of all over the place. Like, my parents are English. I have a EU passport. And
yeah, we're kind of like world citizen vibes.
That's great.
I was born in India, so I suppose I could add that to my passport list, too.
What languages do you guys speak?
Like English and French. I'm learning Spanish. I'm not doing very well. I'm trying. I had a tutor for a while when I was spending more time in Buenos Aires, but I think the more languages you know, the more enriched your life is,
Totally.
It'd be cool to do a whole album in another language someday.
Yeah,
it's the one thing they teach you in school that nobody pays attention to, and it's the one thing you should be paying attention to.
All of it. Yeah, it's true.
Totally. So what do you guys have planned for tonight? You take the stage, the main stage, just after 4 o'clock. What can we expect?
I don't know. I mean, it's going to be a Metric show. It'll be a hot one. It'll be a sunny one. We're really excited. We put a good set together yesterday, and we're psyched to play it. And then afterwards, we get to be humans again, watch other bands, and see great music happen, and have fun.
Who are you excited to see tonight?
Kind of everyone after us.
It's a good night. Yeah, I really am happy that we're on this day. Our friends Stars are playing. Yeah, Stone Roses is a great way to end the night. Blur will be great. I'm a huge Damon Albarn fan, so that'll be really fun.
Who isn't?
Yeah,
and I get as a guitar player, like getting to share the stage with Johnny Marr, Graham Coxon is pretty amazing.
Pretty rad. Now, for you guys, I know you guys do acoustic really well, and then when you're plugged in, it's like this complete party and amazing experience. Do you have a preference as to which way you prefer to play, or do you like it both ways?
It'd be like saying, do you prefer to party or relax? It's like,
Depends on the
people
day.
need both. Yeah.
I feel like the two things really work well together, though. Like, I feel like
Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, kind of Saturday and Sunday, because of how full on the live show is. That's what makes it feel still really energetic when we do the acoustic stuff. I think it's extreme, so I really enjoy it, and it's always interesting musically when you have a song that you're like, what is this going to be like acoustic? You couldn't conceive that it would work, and then it like Synthetica
together.
Ends up sounding like
so good.
Yeah, when we do it acoustic, it's weird, right? It sounds like this like country jam. It's like Johnny Cash or something, but the electric version is totally synthed out and more modern. So it's always an interesting process to change them over.
Now we're talking to Metric on 91X. Emily, I have a question for you. As the beautiful front woman, do you ever get uncomfortable with all the attention you get from your male fans?
It's actually really balanced. Like anyone who's been to a Metric show, I think the vibe in the room is just like people go with their friends. It's like a bunch of friends get together, get pumped up for the show, come and have a good time. There's lots of girls, there's lots of guys. I've never actually felt that there's like a dude jock overkill ever at a Metric show. So I think people really who know us, they really know the spirit of the band, and when they come to the show, it's like a two-way street, like they make the show. So cool. I can't complain.
Well, we'll get more for 91x.com in just a second. Thank you guys for coming by.
Thanks for having us.
It's 91x thanks to Zip Buds. Pause. Good? Okay. Now for 91x.com. Ready?
Ready, go.
Little extra for the website. Now, Metric, you guys have been associated with Stars and Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Is it cool for you to see them come up, and get bigger, just like you guys have? Are you still friends? What's that like?
Yeah,
for you?
actually, I meant to tell you. Nick wrote to me last night. I forgot to tell you. Saying Nick Zinner from Yeah Yeah is saying it's so amazing that all three bands are going to be on the same stage.
Yeah, I mean, we all used to share a loft, 13 years ago.
Yeah,
something ridiculous
in Brooklyn. So it's
Do you have a story you want to share? Because that was one of the questions I was going to ask.
I mean, honestly, it's a strange thing because it sounds, it could be heavily romanticized, that kind of story. We were all living in this giant loft in Williamsburg, and we all, we're all broke, and we were all working really hard to try and make it, and that's kind of what happened. Like, there wasn't like, and then there were all these parties, and then there was this, and it was like, no, we were broke. We were buying like buns in black plastic bags
And ramen noodles.
and it was a dark time. You know, it was a dark time in Williamsburg at the time. It was like everything was just sort of starting, and you know, there's, I don't know, people romanticize it, but for me, in my memory, it was difficult for everyone involved.
But that makes good music, right?
Well, apparently it did, because everybody who came out of that time, you know, has had an interesting career, you know, and it wasn't just Stars, Metric, and Yeah He Has. It was Liars, and it was TV on the Radio, and it was, I mean,
All of you.
It was
crazy.
Yeah, it was a bizarre
There must
time.
have been something in the water in the place you were living
Well,
that
in
like
all
bred
seriousness,
rock
I
stars.
think there's like radiation in the air.
There
where,
is.
Like, and I'm worried about.
We talked to a guy in New York a few weeks ago who is a filmmaker, and he was living in a building that was 2 blocks away, and he was living with all the guys who were doing the LCD sound system stuff and Chick 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 and all these other bands that were at the exact same time, and they didn't know that any of us existed, and we didn't know that any of them existed, and they didn't even really know that they were doing anything important at the time, and we didn't either. And
That's so
you know,
crazy.
I know, I
like
feel
over
like
10 years later, you figure out that this whole thing happened.
There's
on a
definitely something
2-block
in the
place.
water. That's it. We're bottling it.
Yeah, it's a good thing to remember.
It's called
though.
Brooklyn Lager. That's
yeah,
what it is.
true. It's a good thing to remember, though, is that when amazing things are happening in your life, it often doesn't look like it. You know, it's like to remember. I try to remember that now. It's like if you think you're having a hard time or you think it's not going your way, a lot of times it's just things are in the works that you won't be able to see until you look back. So it's actually made me a much more positive person, seeing like, wow, that was such a hard time and it was so worth it.
Right. Totally. So what's coming up for Metric in 2013?
I'm kind of on this like I'm gonna have a really good time vibe, because you know
Nobody's
we,
mad at that.
As opposed to the last.
Well, you know, it's like we do everything ourselves. We kind of run the show, and I put a lot of pressure on myself. You know, we're a really hardworking band. Anybody knows us knows that. We really love the music. We give it our all. 2012 was so intense, and this year I'm just kind of like, I want to play some shows. I want to hang out. I want to travel. I want to live. So it's really getting off to a good start with the traveling I've done so far. Coming to Coachella, going to Hawaii. You know,
Right, you're
more
going
of that.
Hawaii,
More
you're
of
gonna
that.
relax on the beach and then come back to Coachella again.
Exactly. Like kind of, you know, it's time, you know, to take a moment and actually appreciate everything we've accomplished, because I'm the
That's
kind
huge.
of and I'm the kind of person who's like never satisfied, and I think at some point maybe you're missing the point. You know, if you just take a minute, enjoy yourself. So that's my vibe for this year.
That's rad. I love that. I think I want to like bottle that one too.
Okay.
Take that away
Yeah,
from
we're
this
gonna be drinking
conversation.
this water. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming by.
Right on.
Really
Thanks for having
appreciate
us.
it. Have a good time at Coachella tonight.
We will.
Sure, you're gonna kill it. And thanks for stopping by.
Thanks,
91X.
Lev.
Right on.
Whoop, whoop.
91X.